I'm Giorgio Bertuzzi. I'm working for Saffron Energy. I'm a geologist as a background. I've been working for 33 years with Eni, which is the national oil and gas company in Italy. Several years were spent overseas in Norway, Tunisia, Libya, West Africa, East Africa, and Qatar, and Australia also. I do apologize for my English. You can easily understand that I'm Italian, but you have to deal and cope with it for 15 minutes. So I'm presenting what Saffron Energy is doing in the northern part of Italy, in the area which is called Po Valley. We're talking about the area which is basically encompassing the Po River Valley, where this area was a dominion of Eni for 40 years, was a monopoly that was eventually to be abandoned according to a European rule in 1996. At that time, Eni was compelled to relinquish a big portion of the acreage, which is encompassing a lot of gas and even oil fields. Po Valley, which is owning 65% of Saffron, along with Norsan, was working on this area since 15 years ago and discovered 3 gas fields, and there's other assets that are going to be put on production. This is a general view of what's happening in Italy as far as gas is concerned. Italy is a huge importer. Basically, on the 67 billion cubic meter of gas that we use on a yearly basis, 61, which is roughly 2 TCF, are imported mainly from Russia, then from Norway, from Netherlands, Algeria, Libya, and also Qatar. Our internal production is a 6.7 billion cubic meter of gas, so you do see that Italy is basically importing something around 90% of the gas. Any domestic gas which is going to be produced there is highly welcome for the domestic consumption. Now, a general view, very quick. That's all the wells that have been drilled in Italy. We are exceeding 7,000 wells. 2,000 were exploratory wells, and the other one on development and production wells. So you can also spot the Po Valley area, and this is basically going along the Apennine chains. On the other side, you see the technical data that are useful to find and develop gas field and also oil field. This is the black lines is the 2D seismic line, is the acoustic acquisition that gives you a very fair view of the underground. And the sort of yellow encompasses area are 3D seismic survey, which are a very highly detailed way of outlining what is under our feet. That's restricted to the Po Valley area, which was the monopoly of Eni and now is open to prospective bidders. Even here, you see that the seismic grid is quite thick. You have a lot of 3Ds. Our assets are basically nearby Milan. This is Milan, where seismic, of course, is not allowed. And we have other assets here. That's the wells that were drilled. And this is very interesting because it's showing the gas net that is actually present, the gas network which is available and which is connecting and furnishing gas for internal consumption. You will see that is quite thick. So the conclusion is that any new gas field that is going to be found and put on production has a very easy development track and even not expensive because there's plenty and a high availability of tie-in possibilities. With the green Green dots are all gas fields that were discovered by Eni, and the red one are oil fields. By the way, to the northwest of Milan, there was the Villa Fortuna oil field, which was in the 1890s the biggest giant oil field in Western Europe, which produced more than 230 million barrels of 41 API oil. Now it's almost finished. This is going to tell a very long story because we have a lot of possibility to find residual gas where the old field were produced by Eni in a very quick way. So residual gas is a present and future target for mid-small company as we are. That's our brief resume. We are too near production gas field, which will increase rapidly our production to 4,000 million cubic feet of gas per day. We have proven reserves of 8.7 BCF with contingent resources of 2.7. Presently, we have 4 producing wells, 2 gas plants, and we just accomplished last month the laying of a 7K pipeline that was connecting a producing well to the plant gas, which will start production in April. New things will be the first gas in first quarter 2017. Bezzecca is the one that I recently mentioned. This is just in the outskirts of Milan. The Sant'Alberto gas field will go on production in fourth quarter at the end of the year. There we have a well completed, tested, so ready to be tied to the net that I did show to you. And then next year we will go on increasing the Silaro production, which is steadily producing now with something around 11,000 cubic meters per day. But we do plan the next year to have a re-entering of one well and go on and produce other 6 BCF, which will be drained by one well going at 2,500 meter depth. That's in terms of proven and contingent resources and reserves. We have a total of 4.5, which are adding up the Silaro, Bezzecca, and Sant'Alberto field, which, if we look at 3P in the best optimistic scenario, could also be around something around 11.6, 12 BCF, plus contingent resources from 1.6 to 3.7 BCF. These are already discovered, and one is under production, as I told you, and all the other will be put on production very shortly and consequentially. This is the location of the 3 assets that we are talking about. The Silaro one, which the status is producing at a rate of 12,000 cubic meters per day. We have 2.2 BCF of 2P reserves. Location is due east of Bologna. The second one is Bezzecca. Bezzecca is southeast of Milan, and we just finished to lay the pipe to connect the pipe with the well, and on the other side with the gas plant. And this will be opened up very shortly. We're just waiting for the fire brigade to come and to have the final check, and then gas will be flowing from the well. Last but not least, we have Sant'Alberto concession, which is, let's say, between Venice, but much more near to the Bologna town, where we do plan to have it tied in to the net by the end of the year, in fourth quarter. Resources are something around 2 BCF. This is how the production is going to be scheduled. We will have presently in 2017, we will have Bezzecca and Sant'Alberto producing. Then We will have the re-entering of the Silaro gas field, which is going to give a significant increase on production. So that's summarizing everything, and we have for Bezzecca gas field, we are the operator is North Sun Italia. Here is the only license where we do have a partner, which is Petrorep. It's a small Italian company, but more tight of, is a French company located in Italy, is an historical operator in Italy, and is a very good partner. That's the outline from the Bezzecca 1 well, which has been drilled, properly tested, and ready to go on production. And this is the 7K line to the Vitalba plant. Production, as I already told you, is expected in April after the visit of next week from the fire brigades. Here you see a few shots. This is like the plant looks like, and this is how we did put in underground the 7K pipe. We had a very tough work because we have to go contacting more than 90 farm owners, and so we had to deal with each one of them. But one of the characteristics of our company is to have very good relationship with all the local community, farmers, and municipalities, and also with the region, and also with the ministry located in Rome. So we have a very friendly approach and very significant approach with all authorities. I just would like to add something from the exploration side of you. I'm an exploration guy, so in the exploitation concession, we are producing now with Bezzecca. We start production with Bezzecca, but we have a very nice prospect. You see, this is a seismic line. It's something that is the underground. That's a field that has been exploited by Eni and the residual part by Norsan. And this is what we call a seismic anomaly. We know that gas is here. Here, there was a production on 340 million cubic meters of gas. The mirror image of this one is another seismic anomaly that was never drilled. This is in the exploitation concession, and this is the planned well that we would like to drill. So we might be in the more optimistic situation to have the same kind of reserves here, 340 million cubic meters of gas. But we went through a very quick calculation, much more conservative, which is bringing a total amount of something around 7 BCF. Is an exploratory well, but is a very nice step to increase the value, the future value of the exploitation concession. That's the Sant'Alberto gas license, which is planned to go on stream at the end of the year. Is located sort of midway between Bologna and Venice. That's the wellhead. Here you can see the real object. Is the well completed? Gas is down here at 1,500 meters, ready to be opened up. We're talking about something around 2 BCF, 60 million cubic meters of gas. That's how the plant will looks like. That's what we call skid plants, very small and very flexible. And that's aerial shot of the area. We have two possibilities. One, to have a 200-meter connection to the south, and the other one is 3.5K. What is the difference? We will select very shortly which will be the best way to pursue, if not both. But the only problem here is that it is connected with a local net that during summer could be not able to accept the flow rate, which is around 20,000 cubic meters per day that we want to feed in. With the other one, we are going to tie to a much bigger gas net, which will allow us to go as high as we want. We are going on with the final calculation, and also we already started both ways approaching all the landowner. You see, it's basically a farming area. Silaro is the big field which has been producing more than 120 million cubic meter of gas so far, which means almost 4 BCF from 2 wells. There's a very nice and fairly big plant. Presently is producing around 11,000 cubic meter of gas. I forgot to say that the gas which is coming out for the Po Valley area is pure methane, 99%. So there's no any further work to be done before injected in the pre-existing net. So we are producing at 11,000 cubic meter per day now. The future project is to go and deepen one well to hit a deeper target, which is untapped for the time being, which is having something around 2 BCF of gas, plus the residual gas of the shallower level, which is something around 1 BCF. Is an easy job because we do know very well how the geology, how the engineering part will be. That's the last one. Why invest? Well, we have very positioned an asset in a prolific hydrocarbon province. Is the Po Valley area. We do know that gas is there, and from a geological and an exploration point of view, we are completely avoiding the exploration risk because we know where we go to drill that we have gas. You skip all the first and risky part, which is called exploration, pure exploration. We go and drill generally also nearby or on former E&I gas field, which naturally left a significant amount of gas underground. There's production which is generating cash flow, which is increasing with good step towards the end of the year. We selling gas via Shell, which is our first purchaser. The team, I'm part of the team. We are Italians, and we are all former E&I guys working with a lot of experience in Italy. I was devoted to the project of liberalizing the Po Valley area, so we have a very significant mental impression of that period, and we have a lot of experience of the oil and gas worldwide, which is helping us to have a very good and strong team. Now, as far as financial is concerned, I don't want to run the gauntlet with difficult questions on that side. So I leave, if any financial question, to Spencer David, which is a very... Thank you very much for the... Thanks. Any question?
Sant'Alberto to tie into the gas system?
No.
With farmers being difficult?
No, we had, as I told you, Kevin, we had a significant experience with the Silaro, no, when we did that one. We had a very great experience with Bezzecca now, because we are more than 90 landowners. So we know how to deal with them. And as a matter of fact, this is fully regulated by the oil and gas law and procedure. So we have to provide them, to pay them for the damage of the farm which is not being harvested, but is a standard procedure. No, the answer is no. No.
I think we're out of time.
Okay.
Can you say a little bit about the financial advantages of onshore as opposed to imported gas?
Sorry?
A little bit about the price and cost difference of onshore as opposed to imported gas.
Well, The price of gas is fixed also according to the gas that is imported. And as far as I know, the sale price of gas in Italy is one of the most favorable all over Europe because of this reason. Now we are presently at a cost per cubic meter which is slightly exceeding 21 cents per cubic meter, and that's a very, very good price. Thank you.